Every claim about firearms and crime rests on data and methods, and both are imperfect. Understanding them is what separates a critical reader from a credulous one. Two themes run through this chapter. No single data source gives a complete picture, and no single method resolves the inferential challenges of observational research. Begin with crime data. The Uniform Crime Reports, which began collecting data in 1930, aggregated offenses into broad categories, but used a hierarchy rule that counted only the most serious offense in an incident. That rule made the role of firearms in compound offenses hard to see. Its successor, the National Incident-Based Reporting System, became the federal standard in January 2021. NIBRS records each offense separately, with detail on weapon type and the offender-victim relationship. But the transition is incomplete, and some large cities were slow to convert, which complicates national estimates during the changeover. Police data capture only crimes that come to police attention. The National Crime Victimization Survey, run by the Bureau of Justice Statistics since 1973, fills that gap by surveying about 240,000 people in 150,000 households a year about victimization, including incidents never reported. It uses bounded recall to reduce telescoping bias, but it is underpowered for rare events like completed homicide, and it has been at the center of the defensive gun use controversy. The National Violent Death Reporting System, which began in 2003, links death certificates with coroner, medical examiner, and law enforcement records to describe the circumstances of violent deaths. ATF trace data reconstruct a firearms path from manufacturer to first retail sale and yield the useful measure of time to crime, the interval between purchase and recovery. But traced data are not a representative sample, because whether a gun is traced depends on recovery, agency practice, and record quality. And the tired amendments restrict their use, so inferences from them must be qualified. Measuring ownership is its own challenge. The United States has no firearm registry, and federal law prohibits creating one, so researchers rely on surveys and proxies. The most common proxy is the firearm share of suicides, which tracks household prevalence closely. Surveys show household ownership falling from about half in the 1970s to roughly a third today, even as the total stock has grown. Health data round out the picture. The CDC's WISQARS system provides public access to vital statistics, though it suppresses counts in cells with fewer than 10 deaths to protect privacy. The methods half of the chapter names 3 recurring pitfalls. Ecological inference is the error of drawing conclusions about individuals from aggregated data. Selection bias arises when the people or places studied differ systematically from those we want to generalize to. Confounding occurs when a third variable influences both the policy and the outcome. The dramatic crime decline of the 1990s illustrates the problem, since it coincided with changes in firearm law, but also with the crack epidemic's decline, demographic shifts, and changes in policing and incarceration. To address these challenges, researchers use quasi-experimental designs. Difference in differences compares changes in treated and untreated units over time and depends on the parallel trends assumption. Synthetic control builds a weighted combination of comparison units to approximate the treated unit. Regression discontinuity exploits sharp cutoffs but is credible only near the threshold. Instrumental variables use exogenous variation when a credible instrument can be found. Each design is only as good as its assumptions. When you evaluate a study, attend to the design as much as to the finding, because a small effect from a credible design is more reliable than a large effect from a weak one.